Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Side Quest podcast. My name is BJ.
I'm Luke.
I'm Matt.
Millie was supposed to be here, but she died.
Rest in peace.
But that
I think
gives
her
us...
car died, which sucks. I hate car.
I hate car.
I hate car.
I hate car.
But, silver lining, that means we get to play Cyberpunk again tonight.
Let's go. That's all I can think about.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I got Cyberpunk on my mind.
When you were like, "Hey, Millie's gonna be over," I'm like, "Oh, cool." Then I remember, like, for me, I'm like, we can still fit in a Cyberpunk game at some point. She can hang out with Carmen. And then you text on Sunday, I was like, "Hey, who's free today?" I was like, "Not me."
Yeah.
So,
But, tell us how you feel about Cyberpunk so far, boys.
BJ kind of, it's just so funny because I don't get to see this very often in you, I think just because we've been friends for as long as we have, and since we live together, we get to see a lot of each other in different forms and stages. But when you were self-conscious about, like, you're like, did you like?
Yeah, I was like, is this fun at all?
Which is like, again, I don't see that side of you, so that was really funny because we were both enjoying it, but at the same time, at least for me, speaking for me, my head was very busy with stuff, so I feel like I wasn't able to outwardly show my excitement because there's just so much stuff going on in my head. But you did a really good job. I hope that you heard me say that before, but
yeah,
you did a killer job.
I'm glad.
this is like the first, like, I guess, real tabletop experience we've had. Because me, Matt, tried with Kevin and Carmen before, but like I've like never sat down and played. So I was definitely probably as nervous as you. Just be like, fuck, is he gonna like look at my character and be like, oh well, this, Matt's doing great, but man, fuck, Luke's kind of dragging, and I'm just like, fuck. So like I'm trying to still get my,
I mean, everything in that first session went really well. The only thing that really didn't go as planned was you missed an attack.
Yeah.
That one attack, and then everything else was just perfect.
Yeah.
Which that's to be expected in most of these is when you're leaving it up to chance on a dice roll. It's like, well, this could be the coolest thing ever, or you're gonna fucking fail.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was super fun. Like I was doing that, and then, like, immediately, like, driving home, like, just throwing some like D&D or some tabletop shit. I just want to like listen to that shit for a while. So it was super fun, and I had a blast. And the fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like the whole time I'm like,
I did not expect something so dramatic to happen at the end. I thought it would be like, oh, like, yay, and then like have my last name said. Like, it caught me off guard because Luke was like, Matt, did you hear? And I was like, I heard my name. Wait, did the robot say that? Oh shit, this is not good.
Yeah, so they basically, there was a power outage that was completely planned out by some sort of criminal element, and Matt obviously is investigating criminal elements, and Luke just happened to be playing a gig where the power outage was, and shit went bad. They ended up in this abandoned Biotechnica facility fighting these robot drones, but they found some cool shit.
my character has a giant circle over his face, and it's like, oh, yeah, clearly I'm next.
Yeah, there's it's like a list of people that are supposed to be killed.
Well, I think that actually, I don't know if this was like how you planned it or stuff, but it makes it, at least in terms of like RPing and what feels realistic, making it easier for the party to stick together. Because otherwise I'd be like fuck you, I'm gonna do my investigation solo.
That's exactly what I've been trying to do, because like otherwise it's like, all right, you do this one thing at the bar and then you never meet again.
Exactly. So it definitely, I love that element. yeah, it made feel organic about keeping the party together.
Hell yeah.
Implications of violence between us two really helps, stick us together.
Yeah.
Hey, we killed some robots together, man.
We
That
did.
bonds people,
Dude, I felt like a hero.
Well, I mean, like, I come in with, like, virtually no experience, fuck up my first attack, but then I do my shit. And you just ransack a robot with one shot.
Yeah, you, like...
I mean, to be fair, I put all my points into that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to be a guy who's quiet and just kills. And I just want that, like, it's going to be...
Like the Unabomber.
Yeah. Like, because, again, that would have been super...
So what did you base your D&D character off of? Oh, Sandy Hook.
I was like, really... Yeah, oh my god. I'm going to move past that. Because it's really counterintuitive to how I'd want to play, like, D&D, which would be, like, a bard and just talk and charisma roll my way through everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, to be quiet and just, use my fists or my guns.
It's funny because I'm like the opposite, where I would, like, for me, I'd try to be the quieter person, because, like, the role-playing aspect is, like, very weird for me, whereas, like, I like the battle bits and, like, being like, okay, what's all the items I have? What are my stats? Like, what can I use here? Roll this for this attack, do whatever. That always sounded more fun for me. But then the idea of, like, the role-playing aspect, I'm like, fuck, I don't know about that. So this is definitely fun, where it's like, okay, now I have to be the charismatic dude in this situation, and this is going to be very entertaining.
I'm definitely going to push you to do that.
It's all about the role play for me. Like, every time there's a battle, that's just to get to more role play.
Yeah. But I'm gonna definitely push that, because I'm gonna be like, either I'm gonna kill somebody, or you're gonna need to talk her way out of this.
I'm gonna have to just be like, it's gonna be like a thing where, like, Matt's like aggressively be like, hey motherfucker, be like, whoa, hold on.
Not even that. Just you hear my
the gun go, and I'm
you
like,
hear my leg.
I'm just like, and hey.
Yeah, for sure. So that'll be great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And I had a lot of fun. I brought my dice this time.
I have dice trays and D10s and bullet D6s that you haven't seen.
I've not seen the bullet D6. I'm very excited for that.
They're really heavy.
Nice.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got the dice trays along with those.
Yeah.
My I think one of the boxes I have technically counts as a dice tray, but I kind of want to use the, like, ones Matt bought, because those are, like, the cool.
Yeah, we have 4 of them. They're as cyberpunk colors as I could get. Because the other ones were like leather colors, or like...
Yeah, it's like, this one is brown and this one is chocolate brown.
Yeah, and I was like, no, we need like green, purple, and
blue. Some semblance of neon.
Yeah.
There was like a pair of dice that was like cyberpunk themed on Amazon that I was like close to getting, but I was like, nah.
Well, I only got D10s and D6s, because that's all we're gonna.
I mean, that's all you're really gonna use.
And yeah, so I got like a 10-pack of D10s, and then it's a 6-pack of D6s. So no matter what we have, we'll be.
Are we gonna use any of the other dice realistically, or?
I mean, I've come up with a way to, like, kind of incorporate luck into it.
But even like when there's other stuff that are like higher than D10s and D6s, it says just roll 2D6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a D12 that exists that we all have plenty of.
Yeah.
So.
But it says nope, 2D6.
Yeah, it's like we're not getting into all that shit.
Yeah. Because even then, the scales are like 2 through 12.
Yep.
And they don't want.
I was gonna say it's a very interesting system. That's like, yeah, because you're used to like tabletop being like the D&D style, like your D20 is everything.
Yeah.
And you go to Cyberpunk and it's like, nah, fuck that. We just got a couple dice. You're gonna be good. And that's that. Like, it's very like minimalist in a lot of that. But then all the, like, I don't know. To me, like, the stat building stuff that I've seen of Cyberpunk versus like Dungeons and Dragons, it's way more complex in Cyberpunk, where it's like, yeah, you have like a pool of 60+ points.
Yeah.
Figure that shit out. Versus like, oh, making a bard in D&D, it's like D&D kind of gives you like, okay, this is what you're good at. And
Well, yeah, it's because it's all. I think it's 6. It's intelligence, wisdom, constitution, dexterity,
reflexes.
No, that's dexterity.
Oh yeah.
Dexterity, and charisma.
Yeah.
Wisdom, intelligence,
Strength.
strength, constitution, dexterity. Yeah, it's 6. So it's out of those 6, everything else flows. So it's like, oh, you want to do like an acrobatics check? You just use your your
reflect, or your dexterity,
dexterity modifier.
Whereas
for this, it's like you can put in individual points. You're like,
it's like aggressively like, oh no, actually use your
like just for like hand-to-hand combat. There's like 3 different. It's just like one's brute strength and one's like martial arts, and it's like So it's really cool that you can just specifically build your character.
Yeah, having more control over the character is really fun, but I also think I like that because of that they're like, you just have to worry about like 2 dice. We're not gonna you don't have to have like a giant dice tray of like 17,000 versions of this, and it's like, no, just fuck it, 2d6s, do a d10, you're done.
Your weapon, which we also homebrewed, Luke wanted a sword that comes out of a guitar, and when it comes out of the guitar, it does the Jetstream Sam fire attack. So I think from now on, what we're gonna do for the fire is if you hit, we're gonna add like a D4 of damage.
Okay.
But also, it should only be against
it's
flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
obviously,
then mine will do extra damage against anything mechanical.
yeah.
or
And
electronic.
mine is it can only be done once, so it's once I flip it out. That's the only time I can use the fire attack.
Well, you can do it again, but you have to take a turn
Yeah.
to put the sword back in to the sheath.
Yeah, so let all the oils and everything coilate on the blade and whatnot, and then I can do it again. But yeah, I can't be like fast Virgil shit. Just slam it back in and slam it back out. But
Well, yeah, I'm glad that you guys are having fun with it so far. I've got some stuff planned.
Yeah, you said that you would like actively plan some stuff instead of. Well, I mean, still, we'll see how like where it goes, but before
he's also gotta try to like corral us, because I guarantee you, I feel like me and Matt are gonna try to like keep to the pace, but I can already just see me and Matt be like, "Oh, this is really interesting," and BJ be like, "No, the cop says that's not interesting, so go that way."
No, I've got a couple different ways that this one can go. Like there's like 3 different paths that I've planned out so far. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yep.
A lot of fun.
We gotta at some point. I want to get Lee and Ezra and do a D&D something, mostly because I need to bring my milk mage back.
Yeah.
I need redemption.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I'm just because of that one Cyberpunk like session, I'm like just like I want to play more tabletop shit. I want to get out there and do some shit. Super fun.
In other news, I was completely right about. Well, Matt is the only one I talked to about this, but Yakuza, everything that I said last night happened. And I'm really sad.
Don't tell me shit. I'm not that far.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about it later.
It's breaking my heart.
Any tears yet?
Yeah, that one thing that I told you about with the fire, that got me a little bit. And then there's this part where it shows Kiryu having a dream, and that got me too.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after. You haven't been playing anymore, Luke?
I played a little bit, and then work kicked my ass. I hit overtime last week,
For
so
sure.
I've just been any free time I have, just because I can sit in bed and do it. I've just been like, all right, I'm gonna read. So I've been reading Red Rising. Finished that whole book in this past week. Great. And then now I'm on the second one, and
There's
already
a guy in our Discord who's right now reading the second one and is really enjoying it.
the second one already starts like it. So the first book is basically Hunger Games, right? He infiltrates a society, and then they send him to a school to fight other students, to get a place in society. So that's the first book, is just a Hunger Games kind of style. And then the book 2 immediately just becomes space opera, cyberpunk, sci-fi shit. Because the first one they go, here, there's castles, and you have no weapons, figure it out. So it's very fantasy-esque in that. And then immediately book 2 starts with our main character in the bridge of a ship in a space battle. And then now where I'm at, he's like in the underground, like gang territories of the moon, and it's in he's dealing with like space gangs and shit now, and I'm like, this is fucking cool, and it feels a lot more like spread out than the first book did, where it was like, all right, here's all these 16, 17-year-olds who pretty much are going crazy with no food, no water. They're having to fight their other students and all this stuff and whatnot. And now it's like, all right, now we're into the political intrigue and the space sci-fi shit, and it's really good so far. I'm really liking it, and it's despite it being like, I think technically these books are considered like a bridge of like young adult and just adult. It's violent, and they curse a lot just throughout the whole book, and it's like yeah, but like comparatively when you read like Hunger Games or like Maze Runner, where like the worst they're gonna say is like damn.
Oh,
Yeah, this one is like just straight up like they're
pinochle.
yeah, like they're full on like it's like shit that we would say if like in the sense of like, oh, like he's making a dick joke about this, but it's in their lingo.
Don't fuck.
Yeah. But like I don't know, it's really good. I've really enjoyed the first book, but the book 2 already just in the first 5 chapters that I've read is like the writing's better, the way like his descriptions of things are like a lot better. Like it leveled up immediately from like book 1 to book 2, and I'm really enjoying it.
What are you reading it on? Or like
audiobook and book. So if I'm driving, I don't want to stop reading, so I throw the audiobook wherever I leave off, and then I just go to the regular book.
How do you find where you left off?
I mean, I know what chapter I'm on because of the thing. It'll say like what chapter there. That I just find the last thing that I heard, and I just like I go back a couple lines. Like I start a paragraph and just start from there.
I could never do that. If I start with an audiobook, I'll never have any idea what chapter I'm on. I'm just gonna have to listen all the way through.
For me, it's easy just because like when you look at least on Audible, it's just like it'll tell you the chapter you're on. And then it'll have like its own like, oh, I'm about 15 or so minutes into the chapter, and I could just find the chapter.
Have you ever had a Kindle?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Kindle, like the newer Kindles are pretty cool because they'll sync with your Audible account.
Yeah. So
and you can go through and it'll flip the pages and turn the pages when like you know the audiobook reaches the end of the page.
But then you have to buy an audiobook and a book, though.
It's
right?
true.
That blows.
I think
Audible,
I think if you buy
is already like a subscription thing. It's like $35 a month, and every month you get like
you get a free book.
You get a free credit every month
and access to all their free stuff. Which I had Audible for a long time when I was working at Bed Bath & Beyond because I would be in the back just doing the stocking stuff, and I would just listen to books all day.
Isn't that you did Crazy Rich Asians do that, right?
Yeah, I did Crazy Rich Asians that way originally, and then I did
Dune.
I started doing Dune, and then I just hated Dune. So, not the book, but the movie. So it turned me off of the book.
I think for me the reason I can do it both is because like I like when I started Red Rising on audiobook because I was at work, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just listen to it. And when I went home, I was like, well, I'd rather I will all the time would rather have the physical book in front of me and read it.
Oh, really?
Like not 9 times out of 10, I would rather have that because I can get it more. Where if I'm listening to an audiobook, I can get distracted and I'll have to like go back 30 seconds or go back 10 seconds, and constantly. If I'm reading a book, I'm locked in. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget. I'm not gonna get distracted. Whatever. So. And then it helps with an audiobook where like, okay, I hear this person's versions of this character's voices that becomes what I hear when I read it. So I'll go in. It's like, so the narrator for Red Rising, that's how I visualize Darrow's voice, the character, because it's all through his perspective and when he speaks. So that's my voice for the main character.
Gotcha.
And then I'll just input other things. Like obviously it's read by a dude, so anytime he does like a girl, he just kind of pitches his voice or does whatever. So I'll just in my head, yeah, I'll in my head just like, oh, I think.
Mr. Rising is so hot right now.
For some of the characters, like there was a character named Mustang. I don't know why, but like I just put Sophie Turner's voice in there as her. Yeah. And she's just been like, okay,
there's
that's
only
her.
one Mustang.
That's why I snapped.
But yeah, so I've been doing both. On the right here, I was listening to it, and then as you were like before he got up and you were just kind of walking around, I opened the book up where I knew I was and just finished like the chapter, and then put the bookmark in, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm on chapter 8 now.
There you go.
So yeah, it's really good. I think you would like book 2 more than 1, just because 1 is kind of that young adult style. It's borderline Hunger Games, Maze Runner, dystopian, whatever.
I think if I'm going to start a new audiobook, I want to finish the Witcher the series, just to finish it, and then I want to start Way of Kings.
I think the only reason I'm not starting that yet is because it's not finished. I think book 4, or it might be finished now.
I don't know. Way of Kings is a big book, man.
Well, it
doesn't matter. By the time you get there, it'll probably be out.
The first book is so many pages. It's a big old book.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm gonna get them at some point. I just have to wait. I like I said, I want to wait for it to be done so I can just kind of binge it. The only reason I'm not doing that for Red Rising is because technically there's the trilogy, and I can finish that and take a break, and then he wrote 4, 5, and 6, and 7's coming out soon as like the 10 years after this kind of series. So it's like Red Rising happens, there's a gap of time, and then here's Iron Gold onward, and that one becomes more like Game of Thrones in space, where it's every chapter is a different point of view. You get like different houses and families and everything else from like different planets and all that shit. It becomes just like aggressively adult, violent, everything. And I'm like, I'm excited to get to there, because everybody who's read the series says Dark Age is like has some of the most like coldest moments in the series, and I'm like, I want to get to that shit. So yeah, that's why I just started it. This is the one, but Way of Kings has been one that I want to start. But I know that I know I would catch up and be like, fuck, I don't want to wait for the next book. Yeah. Personally. But yeah. I wanna get into that though. Whenever you start the audiobook, let me know. I'll read it so we can kind of like
I've heard that even though like people consider Dune to be one of the best fiction novels, they say for a lot of people it's too it's like not straightforward.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you have to imply with Dune.
And but the fact that I liked it is encouraging to me, because it was like I wasn't stopped like by that, so it makes me feel like I could take on like more complex books, which I hear like A Way of Kings is.
Way of Kings is like considered, I guess, modern fantasy. It's like the definitive modern fantasy series, because like, I mean, Sanderson puts out books constantly. Like well,
there's like I heard another.
He's got Mistborn, Way of Kings. What was that like? Because Way of Kings is the Stormlight Archive. That's the series it's in. He's got like 3 other series that I think he's still working on. I don't know how he does it. Cause I don't know. I don't know if I could just piggyback to different series. Like I'd be like, no, I gotta finish one, and then I'll write a new one. No, he's like, no, I wrote Way of Kings, but then because then he also finished Wheel of Time, because Robert, what's his face? I forget his last name. Died. And so he finished it. So he did that and Way of Kings and all this. Yeah, so he's just constantly writing shit. Which, I mean, good for him. It's working. He's putting out a lot of good books, apparently.
Yeah. Have you guys, well, I mean, we could talk about a little bit what we were talking about before, about the Xbox leaks.
Yeah. Apparently next week, they're going to fully address it, but basically all the leaks have been stating that, yeah, they're going to start putting games on PlayStation and Switch. And not just like third-party stuff. Like it's one of the biggest leaks was, yeah, the next Halo is launching on PlayStation.
Whoa.
And apparently we're getting the things that I've been reading is we're getting one more Xbox.
Isn't the next Gears going to be on PlayStation too?
They're gonna put the whole series on Gears. Like they're gonna, whenever they put out the Gears collection of like 1 through 4 and then all the extra games, it's gonna go to PlayStation as well.
Dang.
So it's very much becoming a thing of like, all right, Xbox, if they can't, I'm assuming they're gonna try, like, because they already have another console planned for like 2026. If that doesn't do well, they're done. Like they're not gonna make a dedicated Xbox. They're gonna make streaming consoles, and I think one of the things was they're gonna make a handheld device that's specifically for Game Pass and stuff, but you can download, like similar to Steam Deck or Switch or whatever. But yeah, that's gonna be it. And the next Xbox consoles,
they'll probably be really good, knowing like just their like tech, being backed by Microsoft.
I think that'll be a good handheld. Yeah. But
it'll probably be sleek too.
I mean, it'll be better than that god awful PlayStation Portal for sure.
Yeah,
but that doesn't take much.
I saw a TikTok where a guy was like, it's the same guy that puts on different stuff to represent different people, but it was Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and they're like, we're gonna be a like publisher and like we're gonna share all of our games, and then they're like, PlayStation, Nintendo, you're gonna share your games, right? Like, no, we're not gonna do that. Like the only reason people, and then PlayStation's like, the only reason people buy my games or buy my consoles for my games, like, and then all of a sudden a guy who's like with the Chad like filter on was like, and it's the Microsoft logo, and it's like, all of you soon will join the PC master race.
Yeah,
that's the thing though, is it's kind of like I get
it, man.
I was gonna say I get it, considering PlayStation is outselling Xbox almost 3-1.
But like I get like PC master race. Like,
I guess, yeah. I have no qualms. I don't like most of the stuff that PC has. It doesn't matter to me, so that's why I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna buy consoles until there's no more consoles. Like I'm building a PC now, but in my head I'm like probably still gonna just play on my PlayStation or Xbox most of the time, just because. Like case in point, let's say Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, right? Mm-hmm. I have Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind on my Xbox, so I have to get 6 on my Xbox. I'm not gonna play it on my PC despite mods, all the stuff.
Shit, by the time that comes out, there won't be an Xbox.
That's fair, yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like I would rather have like all my stuff just kind of in one spot versus my PC.
But it is all in one spot. Like all my saves on Xbox translate to my PC.
Yeah. But,
And you can build a PC that's just a console. Like you can put a PC in a cabinet and make don't get rid of the RGB, get a small form factor case, build something.
that's already what I'm doing. Mine's not gonna be nearly as pretty as yours. There's no RGB at all in my PC build.
I mean, they sell pre-built like mini PCs that are just console boxes now.
Yeah.
I think just for me, it's like the difference in PC and console is like nothing for me, because like I don't care about mods, so that discounts most of that. Frame rate doesn't bother me as long as it's stable. So like I don't care that I can go to 120, and then it's like, okay, well, the only thing that then PC has over it is indie games for me.
I mean, yeah. So games in general definitely way more.
And then I already don't play multiplayer games.
But this is the other thing. It's like if this is going to be the last, or second to last Xbox console, for me, if I need to, like, I can just get like parts here and there if I needed to upgrade instead of getting a whole new console. And like, I can use whatever controller I want with my Xbox or with my PC. And I mean, even then, I was talking to some people and I was like, I kind of am thinking about getting some new parts. And they're like, dude, what do you have? And I told them, they're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, no, you do not need like new PC. Like that's like a monster PC. And I was like, yeah, but like I want to cut down on render times. And then he's like, okay. It was like, I thought like if you were just saying to game, I was like, I can run anything on Ultra. But like the fact is I was telling him, I was like, I just would like to cut down on my render times. And they're like, well, what are you doing? I was telling them the podcast. I was like, it's like 45 minutes, to like 45 to like 35 minutes. And they're like, oh, that is kind of long. And I was like, yeah, it's like for like, hour and a half to 2 hour podcast. And I'm like, dude, like that's like, no, you don't need to. You don't need to do that. I was like, I just wanted to be a little quicker, man. Well, it's usually because it's like, oh fuck, Sunday's here. I have it edited, and so I'm rushing, and then it's like I get it done, editing in like 15 minutes. But then it's like I gotta let it render, and so then while I'm doing the render, I'm doing all the thumbnails,
the AIR,
the AIR. But then even then, it's like the AIR's done. I'm like,
you're like, I'm doing everything else, but
25 minutes left, and then Carl was like, come to bed, and so I, be like, no, I have it. Like I have to let it render.
That's my biggest. I hate watching you edit on Sundays because Carmen always hovers over your shoulder and she's like, what are you doing now? What's that? Are you done yet? Let's go to bed. Come on. And I'm just
to be fair, on Sunday, like it is for my own good. It's like, Friday and Saturday I stay up way too late. So my, sleep schedule's a little out of whack.
So Sunday you gotta go to bed.
Sunday is really important to go to bed. Like I can stay up late Monday and other stuff, but it's that first day of the week that is so rough if I don't get enough sleep. So to be fair, it is true. And then the second time, I usually end up like I'll do shit and then I'm like, oh fuck, it's 9:00. I need to edit.
Yeah.
So
I'm more upset in the fact that one, it's like Xbox is clearly gonna leave the physical game space because of this.
But but that's only because you like having cases.
Yeah, and especially like, and I know like for some it's not gonna change obviously. It's just the fact that like, I like, because I got an Xbox One and because of the backwards compatibility, it's like, I have all the 360 games, I've got original Xbox games, now I've got Xbox One, Series X games, and I like just that collection I've amassed that like now it's like, damn, that's gonna be like worthless for me, or like in the general, like I'm gonna have to keep a Series X to play some of these.
But if it's the second to last console, it won't matter.
The next console is digital only.
Exactly. So then this,
That's
but I'm saying is they're gonna only make one more console after this one.
But what I'm saying is like, so that's what I'm saying is like, this sucks for me is that I'm gonna have to keep my Series X. Like I'm gonna have to have that to play these games. because there's games I have physical that I don't have downloaded. So like I'm gonna keep a Series X. So that just means
Okay,
that
I have a GameCube in my cabinet, just in case.
that's what I'm
He's
saying.
got a
Like,
Wii.
I'm gonna have it. So like when the next
But that's only going to be a problem in what, like 8 years?
2026 is when the next Xbox is apparently coming out. According to those big leaks that happen, 2026 is when they're putting the next one out.
But I'm guessing that they're not going to make exclusives for that one. Like, I'm guessing
Yeah.
Series X can run
Just
it.
don't buy that.
Yeah,
one.
just don't buy that one.
What I'm saying, I'm not, because I can't. It's digital only. Like that's what I'm saying. The Series X is it for me.
That's
Yeah.
So what's the problem? I have a drawer full of DSs that I love.
I wanted to like stick with Xbox, so to say. Like I get all the consoles regardless. So like it doesn't in the grand scheme I guess bother me, but it's more that I want to keep adding to that collection. I like seeing the like, oh, here's like Gear 6, putting Gear 6 next to 5 and whatnot, and having the whole like collection of games.
okay.
And
Well,
it's like that. It's where okay, now they're not gonna make
Okay.
a physical like edition of Gear 6, or at most they'll put out like a collectible steelbook that comes with the $100 edition.
Okay,
or
that I
whatever.
get. And
Yeah.
what the answer will probably be then is somebody on Etsy who has just a bunch of green.
Which is
CD
already a thing that you do.
Yeah, I've done it before.
Yeah, and they'll just put the art on the front with the logo and all that kind of stuff and the little description on the back, and then you just buy that for $15 and there you go, you got a case.
But I don't have all the inserts that go with it. That's the problem.
Dude, they stopped making inserts years
Like 15 years ago.
for real. Like I think 360 might have been the last time they really made.
And even then, like early 360 was the last time that
Because
I ever
game
saw it.
inserts were like GameCube era. They were thick with like
Yeah.
tips,
Art
tricks.
in there.
Yeah,
Well, like it's the sense of the fact that like certain companies will still do like shit. Like CD Projekt Red will always do it. So like Cyberpunk, Witcher have stuff. My Witcher 2 copy I found has all the same inserts. So like it's that stuff where it's like I don't know. Like I like just the I don't know. It's stupid. I
I
know
like
it.
it.
Is,
I mean,
but like the
as I said, I
collection
can
of
understand
thing,
that.
yeah.
I appreciate that
But
for
it's
sure.
it is the thing of like it's going to annoy me personally that when they put out the like Fallout, because there's apparently a Fallout New Vegas remaster coming out, and if that one doesn't get a physical copy, it's gonna piss me the fuck off that I can't put a physical copy of it next to Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 and all those other ones. That's it. Like it's just a small thing. It's definitely I'm the minority on it. I'm like I know that what I'm like talking about is stupid, but like it pisses me off that like when Fallout 6 comes out, I can't.
Like a
have
lot
it.
of people
Yeah.
complained when Xbox did like their digital only consoles and stuff like that. That they're like, this is the end of like people were mad that like, oh, I can't bring my game over to a friend's house. But people haven't been doing that.
People have been doing that forever with online play, and Xbox fans don't go out and buy physical games. You're the only person I know that does that for Xbox.
Yeah.
Like everybody else that I know that I grew up with that has an Xbox, it's like, yeah, let me just go in the store and download it real quick.
Yeah.
I do it with like all like it's I guess Xbox for whatever reason I just latched onto. I think because of backwards compatibility. So
I mean, for sure, I
that's
think-
what it was. But it's the thing where like because like in like 5 years when the PS6 or whatever hits, I'm gonna be buying games for that physically. And at least according to PlayStation,
If they let you.
see that's the thing.
Well, here's the other thing though.
That's
is,
the thing.
like,
I'm more so as the competitions
is
now. dipping out.
CDs like we're gonna get to a point where like games won't be able to be put on a disc.
I mean, shit. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is on 3 discs.
It's
For a
getting
PS5.
shorter and shorter time every generation where something has to be put on multiple discs.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth
mean-
is on multiple.
Because like, yeah. It's just
We're
kinda-
already there for some games, and that's that like Cyberpunk itself was on like multiple discs.
We need to bring back the fucking cartridges, baby.
I agree. Cartridges are
actually
dope.
They don't rot. We have
Yeah.
4 terabyte micro SDs now.
If you could,
Cartridges actually would be the like. Could you imagine like the PlayStation 6 or something coming out and be like, "Here's the cartridges." I'd be
Especially
like,
if
Yeah,
they were-
imagine a,
fucking go,
a
dude.
cyberpunk
especially
cartridge.
if they were small. Like think of it like half the
Look
size.
at the Switch ones.
Well, yeah, the Switch ones are enough, but if they were half the size of normal DVDs, so that you could stack them in a normal DVD, like you know,
2 to a shelf.
Yes.
On top of each other.
if they did that, so they were like really small, those would be super slick.
Have you seen at like I know Walmart and GameStop had them, but those like small steelbooks they did for some games. like MLB The Show, Forza Horizon, it was literally like a half-size steelbook that came with a digital code, and then like
is it like the size of like a CD case?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have, so they've been doing that. Where I'm like, could you imagine that's the new like PlayStation thing where it's like half the size.
I mean, I would
cartridge.
be pretty fucking stoked if PlayStation went back to the old jewel case design,
dude. Okay,
or the PSP cases.
I love the
those
PSP cases.
That's why I love the Switch cases
Yeah.
so much, because they're so reminiscent of that.
They're I think they're a little bit wider.
They're thicker.
The PSP ones were only about like they were like that. They're great.
But those also all had manuals and shit.
Oh, 100%.
I have 4 PSP games, all of them Final Fantasy, but they all have manuals and like the Square Enix member inserts. See, that's the thing. When I buy games, if it doesn't have the cover art, doesn't have the inserts, I'm less likely to buy it because I want the physical aspect. I don't know why.
Yeah, you bought. What was that game that's like GTA with
Saints
Alien?
Row.
Saints Row.
Yeah,
Steelbook.
because it had all the physical goodies and inserts in it. Your point?
It's Saints Row.
Yeah.
That is the point.
And it's the worst one too.
Oh, 100%. But I have the steelbook and all the physical goodies with it, so it's worth it. That's what again.
The
Dude,
guy in third
we're not-
place
we're
with the
not gonna-
champagne.
We're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about the competition aspect because like PlayStation has had no reason to
That's
change
true.
this year because they are number one and they're dominating in every country, where except in Japan where Switch and PlayStation just kind of teeter back and forth on who's first. Where like they're outselling Xbox in every capacity, and they're showing it where they're not showing off game. Like we don't know what's coming out this year for PlayStation except what they showed at that.
Well, hear
State
me
of
out.
Play.
If
And then
Microsoft becomes a publisher for PlayStation, and
Switch.
Xbox becomes a publisher for games, that'll be the better, like the more powerful console would be the PlayStation. With Microsoft, with Xbox in Microsoft's pocket, or no, other way, yeah, Xbox in Microsoft's pocket. Like, let's say they come out with a game, and they're like, "This is this game, and it's got crazy graphics, like super good." If you get on PC, you'll run it. It'll run perfectly.
But
however, the PlayStation can't run it that well.
They like Trojan horse it.
Yes, they'll be like that. I mean, they can
PlayStation just can't handle it.
Exactly. I mean, like that's the easiest way to like move forward.
I mean, there are more and more people moving to PC now than ever.
The problem with that is that Xbox, and even now with all the leaks, they still want the cheap thing. So like they're gonna make the reason they put out the Series S,
but they can't get cheaper than a Switch.
The Series S is the same price as Switch. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's that vibe. They want to have that. They want to have
like the computing power. Like you can't be worse than a Switch.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that 100% that. But they're going to always try to get the general casual, like, oh, just spend $300 to get this console and it comes with Game Pass, whatever. Do your thing. That was their whole marketing strategy, and the fact that the Series S, the low budget console that can barely run Baldur's Gate 3, outsold the Series X, the big budget console that has a disc drive and everything. They're like, no, the Series S is selling more. So they're going to always want to get the lower end people. That means they're never going to make a game that is that graphically intense that it can't run on their lower end stuff. Because if they put out the handheld, right, it's going to be about as powerful as a Steam Deck.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they don't have to worry about making consoles, then they can put out graphically intense stuff and then be like, those PlayStations, they can't run this.
They're probably not going to do that because if it gets found out, they can get sued. But second, on that, again, if they're going to make a Steam Deck competitor,
They would get sued
Well, then they'll
for
just start
making
writing into the games.
too good of a game.
Master Chief takes a piss on a PlayStation or something.
well, it's the idea of like, because if they put out a game that's intentionally made to be worse on the PlayStation, it's one thing. But if they make a game that's like, if they make a game for PlayStation and they just happen to upscale it for the PC, that's one thing. But if they go, we made it for PC and then like we
downscale it.
That's gonna be, especially if it's intentional. If it's found out intentional,
well, then they just need to have like 1,800 polygon rocks in every single game, and that's every single rock, and then it can't run on PlayStation 5. And then it's like, well, it's the same version. I don't know why it's not running.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they're like, it's the same version, just PlayStation can't run it.
But then it won't run on their handheld. But that's the thing.
Technically, if you have with what is it called?
Game Pass, you could just stream it.
Yeah, like streaming, it doesn't matter how graphically intense it is being streamed.
Exactly. But again, the only place that I can stream a game is from your house. I can't stream where I live. I can't.
Is
stream
that
it
wild?
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago,
Yeah, that was not even a thing.
we were in the
Yeah.
Stone Age here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no internet whatsoever. I remember the day that you got internet, and Tyler came home and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go watch porn."
I am worried about though just PlayStation being, because the thing is like consoles aren't going to go anywhere anytime soon. Both the PlayStation and the Switch kind of confirm that they're selling gangbuster numbers. And then all now that PlayStation, if Microsoft like dips out of the console space, it becomes like a Sega where they just put games everywhere. And PlayStation has nothing to do, they don't have to compete with anybody because they're not competing with the Switch.
That's why I'm excited
It's
for
the niche.
Xbox to die. It's Dreamcast 2 time. It's finally here. The third competitor, the real third competitor in the console market can return.
Do you think Sega would
I think they would do it as like a
bit, but then if it goes big, they'll cater to it?
yeah, like I could see them doing like, okay, here's the Dreamcast 2. It's got like all these new like indie games that we put out. Like you buy it and then, you're done with it. But
These like publishers need to like get with gaming components like MSI or Asus and just make like limited edition graphics cards. There's like the
I mean, they
Don't they
do
do?
that.
Starfield got one.
There's like you can build a whole PC out of Sonic parts right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did one for Evangelion, and it's so I like there was a sweepstake, and anytime I could, but then it got absurd. It was like log into your Facebook and your Instagram and your Google account if you
Yeah,
want.
create a Threads account
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, I'm like, "Ugh, no, I'll just like use my Facebook because I don't care what happens. to
Yeah, I'll
my
just
Facebook."
buy some purple and green paint at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely very weird. It's gonna be weird seeing like, oh yeah, Halo with a fucking Sony logo on it.
Yeah.
Like even if I just go to like Target or Walmart, even just like even getting a PlayStation and seeing Halo on the front page, because even Sony's not like petty enough to be like, oh yeah, Halo's one of the biggest shooters. We are absolutely gonna throw that on the front page.
So
when it comes
is
to
this
fucking
like
PlayStation.
a thing that's in contract, or is this just like what they're gonna announce?
Well, so-
do you think it could change with like a new game comes out and just revitalizes?
Oh, 100%. Like, this could somehow deviate. If they somehow, like, if for whatever reason the Xbox brand gets better, like, if like, in the next year, somehow all of a sudden Series X's and the Game Pass subscribers go up, they're going to switch their shit, like, as well. But the reason they're doing it now is because,
They're following the money.
well, they spent almost $80 billion on Bethesda and Activision, and now they're like, we want that return on investment now. And Starfield sold really well, not well enough to warrant the $7 billion price tag they put on Bethesda. Like, and then the fact that apparently that was already confirmed Call of Duty was not going to go on Game Pass and was going to stay multi-platform. It was like, well, shit. So you bought them for just
but that was
revenue.
pretty much because of like the lawsuit.
No, they could have. There was ways to. You could still put it on Game Pass. Again, the thing was exclusivity. But they're like, no, it's not going on Game Pass. So Call of Duty you can't get for free. You won't, even if you have Game Pass, because they want you to pay for
I'm
it.
fine with that. They're not an issue. I'm okay with Microsoft keeping it as a
Yeah.
The only thing I want out of this whole deal is all the rest of the Banjo games to come to Switch. God damn it!
Yeah, I mean they for sure will. Apparently, a Banjo remake has been like greenlit and has been like being passed around to different devs. So that's all we know about that.
Get fucking Toys for Bob off of Call of Duty and get them to make
Well,
it.
again, this was before the Activision merger was done. So now it's like, yeah, you have.
So they have the power to
Yeah.
separate them from Call of Duty support.
The problem is that they're gonna want to keep Call of Duty as a big support thing. I think they're just gonna make it one studio with different teams working on them instead of 3 separate studios. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see where they go with it, because especially because case in point, like Blade, Indiana Jones, Avowed, Hellblade, these are the games and like Starfield were like, these are the games you want to buy an Xbox for, or on PC, or get Game Pass, because that's what their biggest thing was. They wanted you to get Game Pass. They didn't really care where, just get Game Pass on your phone, Xbox, wherever. And now it's like, Does that mean also PlayStation? Because I doubt PlayStation will let Game Pass go on their system, especially if it's a competing like thing like that. But if they can't put Game Pass there, then fuck it. Here's Hellblade 2. Here's the next Halo. Here's Gears. Here's whatever. And just, again, then they get the 30% cuts and all the other stuff, and they just now get more money from a higher install base.
Who knows?
And then to answer your question, I mean, I know you're saying like, oh, just go PC. For me, it's like, if I get a PS6, there's gonna be somebody who's putting out a third-party controller that just looks like an Xbox if I care enough, which I don't. So,
But all third-party controllers work on PC.
yeah,
Yeah. So why would you get it for your PS5?
because I want to get a.
Because
that
I said
PS5?
I made the point that I hate.
He
I hate
hates the PlayStation controller.
controllers.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, so
I also hate their UI,
Yeah.
and that's not just like that's like
The PlayStation 4 was perfect, and then the 5 sucks donkey dicks.
It does. I was telling Luke when
Yeah.
we were playing Last of Us Part 2, I got so angry. I
Yeah,
was
just
like-
trying to turn off the console.
It's like 15 steps.
I remember I was like, at that point, you might as well just flip the breaker on the way to the room.
I don't
Rip
think
it
I've
out
ever.
of the
I don't
wall.
think I've ever turned off any of my consoles. They just go into rest mode.
They're gonna explode.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll see where it goes. I know Phil Spencer came out and said, hey, next week we're gonna do a big presentation, a big information dump of like, here's the plans going forward. So
Who's the CEO of Xbox?
Phil Spencer. Well, now Sarah Bond. I think Phil moved to Activision to help them out.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But the
A woman.
well, no, if it I was gonna say from what it's apparently been Saudi and
I mean, look at Disney. Come on, look at Star Wars. Come on, am I wrong or am I wrong?
say Disney's Bob Iger. Who replaced Bob Iger? I forget his
I
name.
don't know. Disney has gone so far downhill
It's a travesty.
with everything. Like, I don't even care anymore.
I'm very interested where this is gonna go. Just because, I mean, I don't know, because I don't think we're at the point yet where like the majority of people are gonna play PC just because of the general casual audience who just plays COD and Apex and shit. 'Cause they're just gonna buy the next console that has that, and that's like is popular, and that they're gonna go where their friends go and wherever the popularity is going. So that's where they're gonna go. And I don't think, especially considering that most people, it's like, oh, because even now the general consensus is, oh, I want to get into a PC. Well, you got to spend like thousands of dollars to build a PC where you just spend $500 to get a PlayStation or an Xbox. And so that's at least on the casual market where they are at there.
No, casual just buy a pre-build or a Steam Deck.
Yeah, and
And
that's
then
what
they're
people
like-
don't understand is like you can spend thousands of dollars on a PC.
But you're almost never going to need that unless you're playing shit like Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, or
and
unless
it's-
you want to. It's like, I mean, the whole thing is like, oh, like people would get the Series X because they wanted the best. You know, if somebody was like, I want a PC, but I want the best, you can do that. But if you just want enough to like play all your games, you could do that too.
Yeah, there's just more choice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like if you're okay with no RGB, you'll save like so much money on parts. Like I
And
wanted.
if you're moving from console to PC, what console have you ever had that's had RGB at all? So
None. So it's like there. You could. I mean, like
yeah, that's $8,000 you save right now.
100%. Yeah, like the fact that
No,
I
when
had
I-
to spend like
when-
the
no.
fans I got are like specific Corsair, which Corsair is an amazing company
They're
for,
also very expensive, too.
but very expensive for their RGB stuff. I got their RGB. I mean, I got so many Corsair parts because also like I didn't have to, but I wanted it because they all fit into the IQ system, which is the synchronized LEDs, and it's like you could do that.
it's funny.
if you want,
like,
but you don't.
I got all my stuff like PC Part Picker and all the stuff there, and I showed like a friend at work, and he's like, "That's really cheap. What are you not?" I'm like, "I don't have any lights," and he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't want them." That to me, that's dumb. I don't
Like I mean, like half glass cases you don't need.
Well, like you see that, even that, I'm like, I wouldn't get that. Like I would just get something that just is there, and I'm going like I'm not gonna have a window on mine either.
Yeah.
It's just a black plastic box that fits everything, and I'm like, cool, good, that's my PC, and it's gonna.
Yeah, if you really want some decoration, throw a sticker on that bitch.
Which I have, I have a whole drawer full of just stickers I've collected over the years, and I'm like, I can just put that shit everywhere.
Yep.
So yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I think Xbox had the right idea of cloud streaming and like the Game Pass stuff. I just don't know if the majority are there yet. Like, internet availability isn't,
It's dog shit.
yeah.
Pretty much everywhere.
So like streaming a game is like, sure, there's plenty of people who can do it, but not enough if that's your only option.
Yep,
Like,
look at Stadia.
yeah, case in point, Stadia fucking bombed. It was good,
It was great.
but only for people who could do it. Like, I couldn't do it. I even did the thing where like, oh, Stadia work with you? Nope. It's like, cool. You let me borrow your Stadia. Fucking didn't work. So I was like, oh, Stadia is just, it's not for me. It can't be for me. So like, yeah, I guarantee you if like,
The best thing to come out of Stadia is that controller, though.
yeah, like good
It's
controller.
so nice.
The fact that you can use that on Steam now is fire.
Yeah.
Did you see, speaking of controls on Steam, Persona 3 Reload has the Switch configuration built in the game because you can plug the Switch controller on there.
That makes sense.
And people are going like, was this gonna come to Switch? And now people are thinking that for Switch 2 it's gonna drop.
Yeah, I mean, they did Royal, so there's no reason it
Royal
couldn't.
is a PS3 game.
Royal is an upgraded PS3 game.
It's still a PS3 game. Like, that can run.
Yeah, but there's nothing
Persona-
nothing in Reload that couldn't run on Switch.
Probably not, but I think they used what was it? Was it Unreal Engine? I forget what engine they used, but it was like the reason they gave where it's like it's not coming on Xbox One or PS4 and Switch is because like it's something fucky with the engine. So unless I think it's bullshit.
I mean,
but,
it's clearly just Atlas is inept.
Yeah.
That's a thing that keeps coming back. Like Persona 5 took 5 years to come out on Switch, way too fucking late because they just couldn't figure it out.
Well, and even then they just waited for Royal to drop even then, so we didn't even get OG P5. And then immediately it was like, all right, here's 4 and portable, and then now here's Tactica, here's all the other side games, those are coming whenever. But then didn't we get Strikers before we got 5?
Yeah,
Yeah, which is fucking wild.
we got Strikers on launch.
Yeah, which is fucking wild.
But it also shows their ineptitude that on every platform they dropped Persona 3 Portable AI upscale version, and then like 4 weeks later it's like, oh, here's the remake.
well, and I think they did that just because of the female protagonist stuff, because Portable doesn't have the answer in it either, which Reload is going to get as
But
DLC.
the answer sucks balls.
Oh, it does, but it's still more content that some people like, whereas Portable has the whole female protagonist route. that
I've
isn't
also
on
seen a
Reload.
bunch of people on TikTok that are like, the reason that you want to play the remake is because you can control your party members, and you couldn't do that originally. And I'm like,
You can do that in Portable.
I'll just emulate the PlayStation Portable version. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can do that in Portable. So that was the dumbest shit too.
I have
Where it
no
was like,
idea what you guys are talking about.
In Persona 3 originally, you couldn't control any party members except for your player character. They would just act on their own
Really?
in a turn-based game.
And you could change their like style of fighting. So if you wanted someone to be more of a healer, but it still would be like, hey, I'm losing health. Why'd you attack that guy? Like, what the fuck? Like, because you couldn't
some
control
real
the
like
party.
Donald Duck shit.
Yeah, and for the PlayStation Portable version, they added a female protagonist route and the ability to control every single party member.
Gotcha.
So it became like that was almost the definitive version of the game for a while. Even with the FES version, which came with a bonus story and did a bunch of shit, it still was based on original P3, not the portable version. And
Yeah, so the definitive version of the game that they say is definitive is the PS2 version that you still can't control your party members. But
Gotcha.
the PSP version has more content and you can control the party members.
It's
So-
funny because I think people were excited for the remake because we finally have just the definitive. It's got the
Yeah,
female
and then they're
protagonist
like-
has the answer, and they said no.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you.
Yeah, and I think that's so funny.
If you want to play a really good Persona game, go out and buy Infinite Wealth.
Did you see, speaking of Persona, did you see that Atlas apparently like that? What's that new basically Persona game they're putting out?
Metaphor Refantasio.
That shit looks cool, and apparently they are going all in on having that be like another pillar for them.
Well, that's good
Which
because it
I'm-
does look really good.
I just think I'm both excited because like, oh cool, new shit, but also like you have Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, which are already very similar anyway. Now
Yeah.
you're gonna add a third one that's just another one of those.
Well, they're very similar now. Like the battle systems
Yeah.
were pretty samey, but like with SMT5, it's basically just like a little bit darker of a Persona game
yeah,
with the themes and characters and everything.
because I know with because Shin Megami Tensei 4, which I liked on the 3DS, was definitely very different than Persona, like wildly. And then you get then now you get 5, and now Metaphor, and it's just like they are making one type of game.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it'll be like Judgment and Yakuza being 2 different games, but like they're the same shit.
Yeah.
So I can handle it. It's just funny.
Well, we watched Saving Private Ryan the other day.
Did you like it?
I liked it a lot. I was getting hype at points. Like, it was a fire movie. I wasn't expecting to like it
There's
at all.
a couple other war movies that I think we should watch. I think I like when we just get into a genre. I'm like, okay, we got a couple more in this genre, and then we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
I still need you to see Nice Guys.
We have not talked about. On the way home. What did we watch that we haven't talked about?
Well, the last thing I watched with you was Old Boy. What did we watch last week, actually?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, what did we? We
watched 2 movies.
Oh, Walter Mitty.
Yeah.
We
That was really good.
that was such a great movie.
Such a fun movie.
Also, shockingly, really good action sequences.
Yeah.
In a movie that was.
Oh,
that I was
I
like,
know we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Speaking of action sequences, we have not talked about season 2 of Spy Family.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked
We
about
have
it on the
not.
podcast.
Dude,
I have
the
a full-
last
so I
like
haven't watched
4
any of it.
episodes go crazy. Like maybe the last 2, the animation.
Goes way off the deep end.
Oh my god, it is.
They're doing the budget flex.
nice.
They
I
spent
need
it all, dude. I mean, it's insane. So like they even put like impact frames, like that are crazy.
Yeah, there was parts where I was like, "Is this my hero?"
Dude, it was wild, so good.
I need to catch up. I stopped watching after like the first 2 or whatever. Like first 2 episodes, and I'm like, I'll get to this.
Season 2 ends with them introducing that lady that's in love with Twilight, the other secret agent.
Wasn't she in last season too?
No,
No,
I'm not caught in the manga, so I would know.
in
The white-haired bitch.
I guess
She's
she's the
in
one
last
that
season.
she's the one that poses as his nurse.
Wasn't she in the last season though?
No, they introduce her in one episode in season 2.
Didn't she have like a tennis match with Yor, or am I thinking of the other one?
I think that might have been the handler.
Okay, so yeah, it might be different. I know there was that white-haired girl who was super in love with Lloyd, and she was trying to replace Yor in as the wife in the scenario. And Anya
I mean
was-
that's exactly what this girl's trying to do. It was
Yeah,
like pretty much like Robin, that's being in love with Batman.
yeah. Speaking of which, that Becky episode was pretty uncomfortable.
Which one?
where
The
she's
one,
trying
the
to
one where
break up-
Becky comes over and she's like trying to get with Twilight.
Yes, that was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was. We were all just pretty silent for that one.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
But every time they have a Bond episode, it brings it back.
Yeah,
Bond episodes.
we
are
haven't
key.
gotten a good Twilight episode.
Yeah, a lot of
is-
season 2 is like him playing second fiddle to like Yor or Anya. I mean, the closest you really get is the one where he teams up with Bond to take down that like animal.
I like because I'm just waiting for. I mean, hopefully it's next season, but we get the episodes that we did for your being a badass. That we get more of Twilight.
Yeah,
Because, yeah,
I just want to see the war actually break out. I want to see the war happen and them have to like
oh my gosh,
come together and like protect.
I mean,
Anya.
I thought it'd be like one of them would get the assignment to like track the other, and then they like learn. They're like, oh my gosh, this person's not who they say they were.
Was it this girl? Fiona? Because she's the agent.
Yeah, that's her.
I swear that was last season or like early season 2, not.
No, it's like near the end of season 2.
What the fuck?
Like it's after they do the cruise ship.
Which was funny when they find all the bombs. Twilight's like dresses up as another sailor and diffuses like 6 of them.
Yeah, and they're like, this guy's a fucking menace.
Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, you did it in like 2 seconds.
He's like, God, we've never seen this guy on the ship before.
Yeah.
And now he's just saving all of our
He's like,
asses.
oh yeah, I used to be in bomb defusal back in the war.
Like, this guy's a fucking legend. We're going to buy you so many drinks after this.
Yeah.
And he just disappears.
And then he throws the bomb off.
Yeah, directly into the boat of the guys that are trying to escape. Love that.
So good.
We need to watch K-On!
What's that?
It's this very cute anime about these high school girls starting a band.
What's that other one about that's pretty much like a John Wick, but it's an old like a fat dude that owned a shop.
Oh yeah, that's that one. That,
Sakamoto Days. It's not an anime yet. I don't know if anybody's gotten the
Dude,
rights
speaking
to
of
it.
new animes,
It's good.
The Power Rangers one.
Go Loser Ranger.
Yes.
Is it good?
I've been wanting to read that forever.
The only reason I haven't read it is because I'm like I want to at least watch it first. And then
The
I'll
manga's.
jump
I
in.
mean, the anime's coming out this year.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Hell yeah.
I had just she was in season 1 at the very end. That's when we first saw Fiona. She was in season. So the second time she shows up is in season 2.
So they just don't mention her at all, like what she's about or what she does.
Well, she came in. All they showed off in the first one was Lloyd knew who she was because she was the same agent. And so they were like speaking in code, but then like they're the dialogue in their brains is like, why is she here? And then hers was that she's just super in love with him and wants to replace Yor, and she tries and fails. And I'm assuming she just does that again in season 2. The handler is the super hot redhead chick with the like big witch hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the handler, and she's fine as hell. Yor's still the best, but
I'm very concerned about Yor's handler.
Yeah, the
guy with the
Assassin's Guild.
Yes, the guy with the clippers.
Yeah.
Did not like his face at all.
Yeah, he seems villainous.
Yes. Because the other guy, the old man in the suit, he's cool.
Yeah, the guy that actually works at City Hall with her.
Yeah.
He was badass.
Yeah,
he's like
super cool.
yours, Alfred.
Yeah.
I've been watching Solo Leveling. That's I think 5 episodes in now, and then Mashal, just because the anime opening was fire.
This season 1 or 2?
2 of Mashal.
Is it good?
So far, I mean, this arc is straight up like, hey, they found out he doesn't have magical powers, and now he's gotta like prove that no, I do though. Hold on.
But he doesn't.
And yeah, because everything he's been doing has been he's just super strong.
Yeah.
Like when everybody finds out, like
yeah, I know.
There's a scene where like this dude has like it's literally an armor that no magic can penetrate, like none, and Mashal beats the shit out of him, and his friends go, "You mean to tell me you actually don't have magic?" And he's just kind of there going,
There's 2 of my favorite. One of them is when they have the broom lesson.
Yeah, and he's just kicking so hard.
He stomps the ground and it flies up, and then he just flaps his legs so much that he can fly. And then the other one is he's in a sword fight with somebody, and he's just like zipping around. He's like, he's so fast, I can't even track him. And then he gets the guy to like stab him in the gut, and then he can't get the blade back, and he's just flexing.
He's just flexing so hard it's stuck in there.
The blade's just stuck like in between his stomach, and he's like, ah, and then punches him.
Have you seen
Such a funny
Have you seen
anime.
the opening to season 2?
No.
It was blowing up on TikTok just because it was not the normal like J-rock shit. Yeah, it wasn't like the standard thing. It was almost like a weird rap song that like where people were like, what the fuck? But it was like kind of like it's actually kind of sick. And it like that and the new One Piece opening have been like the big openings for this.
Are we
year.
getting One Punch Man this year?
Fucking
I
knows.
doubt it.
I honestly wouldn't be shocked if Mappa drops it. Just to
That would be
just to give it to
horrific.
somebody else. But I think
Realistically, right now, the things they're probably going to drop is Chainsaw Man.
well they have the movie.
Yeah.
Out, so if that does bad, they probably will drop. Well,
But
maybe because I know Chainsaw Man was like one of the lead guys at Mappa's like passion project, so he might hold on to that with his cold dead hands.
Maybe
They might get rid of like.
I
the
just know
other
they were
indie
bitching
shit.
about how little money it made.
Well, not even how little money.
Attack on Titan's done. That's good.
Well, not even just how little money.
Yeah, it's
that
about fucking time.
That it didn't outsell JJK, which they expected it to. That was their big thing. Is they expected.
Well, what they
Chainsaw
need
Man
to do
be
is make a
more.
Chainsaw Man video game that doesn't suck ass and balls.
There's one.
No,
No,
there's
the
a-
Jujutsu Kaisen one does.
Terrible. I've not played it, but
Most refunds
yeah,
on Steam ever.
it is
Really?
outrageous.
Abysmal?
It's bad.
Awful.
Which I'm gonna be honest. Stop giving us fucking arena fighters.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Do something else.
Like the reason you know the one anime fighting game that's still really prevalent to this day, DBZ Fighters.
Yeah, because it's a
fucking
2D
fighting
core
game.
fighter.
Yeah, and then you got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Even the new Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, people were like, it's more of that, I guess.
Yeah, because
Like,
they started with Ninja Storm when it was still fresh, and now it's like, okay, well, everything else is doing this now, so we don't care.
Even like the only one, like that One Punch Man fighting game, it just wasn't that good of a fighting game, but it was interesting that like the timer was if Saitama got there in time. And then if whoever has the most health got him, or whoever the least amount of health. There was a section of like, if you beat the other person before Saitama got there, you obviously win. But if Saitama gets to the fight, he'll take over one of the other two and he wins. So it was like a really interesting gameplay mechanic. The game wasn't that good though, which sucks. But
The thing is, like, Dragon Ball keeps getting games made because they keep switching genres and making something cool.
like
with
we're getting.
this-
I wonder if I guess now it's called Sparking Zero because that's what it was in Japan. But Budokai 4 might be the game just because that might be the only arena fighter people are gonna like because it's
I mean,
Budokai.
if it's in the style of Tenkaichi 3, like, I'll be all about that shit.
I mean, I just need, like, I want them to just get away from the same fucking developers because CyberConnect 2 just does everything.
Yeah.
I would love to see, like, fuck it, give a game to Platinum, give a game to, like, fucking Atlas. I don't care. Just get
I would
out of
love
your
to
comfort
see
zone.
a Platinum Black Clover game.
That would
I
be
think
really
that
good.
would be pretty fire.
Or, like, Blue Exorcist, even. Like,
Yeah.
anyone where the main character has a fucking Chainsaw Man would be good for Platinum, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fighting giant monsters that that we know they can do, and then you're dingy.
Yep.
I want to see just anyone else take a crack at an anime game that's not an arena fighter, which I guess those do well in Asian countries, I guess. But like, I'm so sick of that's why I love Kakarot as much as I did.
Yeah, Kakarot's
It's a fucking
the
action
perfect
RPG.
DBZ game.
Yeah, fuck that. I hate. But yeah, I hope One Punch Man does come out. I want it to be good because I think after like season 3 onward, you get some of the best shit from One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And if Mappa can do it and not, which even then, JJK being the fact that they had a week to work on an episode constantly and those still came out looking breathtaking. Imagine if they get more time to work on One Punch Man. Shit's gonna be next level shit. But, you know, hopefully they don't kill their employees while they do it. But no, Solo Leveling's really good. I've been vibing with that. I was excited for it because I read the manhwa of it, and then now they're changing some things, which makes me think they're not basing the story off of the manhwa. Instead, they're doing it off the novels. They're just using the art style of the comic. But it's so far so good, and it's been breaking records on Crunchyroll now too. So I'm excited for more of that. But other than that, I haven't been doing much else really.
There you go. I've only been playing Tarkov.
Has that been like your game? Like,
It's
do you keep coming back to it?
I
Like
do.
even when you like take a break for a bit?
No.
He hasn't been taking breaks.
haven't
It's
been
all
taking-
been Tarkov.
Okay. Well, I
It's,
get yeah.
It's like it's like a drug that like it's that fucks you over.
It's like a drug that makes you be gay on Discord.
and then
Are you just hearing him talk on Discord?
Yeah.
You're not in the Discord, so you're just hearing only Matt's versions of the conversations.
what do you hear?
100%. The gayest shit I've ever heard come out of your
What?
mouth.
Like what?
Like, oh, you want to cuddle, bro? Like, oh yeah, like just put your head over my like chest or whatever. Shit like that.
I think VJ's jealous that I'm flirting with.
Other men.
Yeah.
So what if I am?
Hey, those other men aren't doing.
Okay. The thing about
Cyberpunk
Tarkov
roleplay.
is it fucks you over all the time. You just get fucked over, and
So you need a
nothing
little
works.
bit-
But then you get you win a fight, and then they have all this crazy loot, and then you get out of there, and it's something I've never experienced in a game before. It is just like exhilarating. You like, oh my gosh. And
It creates bonds, BJ. There's a level of bond that he has with his Tarkov buddies that it just can't be like repeated.
Well, that's fine. I'll remember that. On the other hand, Infinite Wealth.
kill Matt's character in Cyberpunk Red.
Start
Makes it-
playing Tarkov and specifically target Matt.
That'd be the greatest. Like
It's just stream sniping me.
Matt, he's over there on his like Steam Deck. He gets to work, whatever, and he's just kind of like watching you constantly, just like. And he keeps losing, and he's like mad the rest of the night, like fucking, God, I fucking hate Tarkov, and you're over here just like, man, that's crazy, dog.
Do you want to watch a movie now that you keep on dying?
Man, I guess you have to give me attention now. It's crazy.
How have you liked? Have you gotten how like gameplay
I've
wise?
completed the Sujimon League.
Nice.
There's a Pokemon Snap mini game also.
Oh,
so
sick.
every facet of Pokemon is in Infinite Wealth.
And then you got on the island.
I'm on the island. I'm working on the island.
I saw one clip on TikTok which made me die laughing, because you can ask just anybody to come to your island,
Yeah.
and Ichiban goes up to this little girl and it's straight up like, hey,
Oh,
why don't you come to my it's like, hey, why don't you come to my island? We've got all this great stuff, and someone was like, stop it.
Yikes.
So yeah, apparently
Stephen Hawking
you see what was,
back from the grave.
oh, I think I
There's a wheelchair character in Infinite Wealth.
Oh, he's the support character.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
boy. What gameplay wise, like obviously the Animal Crossing stuff, have you unlocked anything else in like the combat? Like I unlocked the last time I played, I got like the Drink Link like combo attacks.
Yeah, I've gotten that done for I've got Chitose as far as she can go, but I have to progress the story to get her like last one. Tomizawa's maxed out, and then
Here you can't max, right? Or no?
you don't get any links
Yeah.
with him at all from what I've seen.
I'm assuming. Have you split the party yet? Where you are in the
that
campaign?
is the last thing that happened.
Okay, so
was
Kiryu-
the Predator handshake, and Kiryu goes back to Japan.
Okay, sick. So you're on chapter 8.
7 or 8.
Okay.
How many
something like that.
chapters do you know?
I think 12 or 15. They're usually around that range. I know Gaiden was like 7. But
Yeah.
it was a shorter game. But yeah, they're usually around. I know Ishin's 15. 6 was
What was 0?
12.
0.
12 and then a prologue
I
episode.
thought 0
I
was
think it
like
was
15.
Am I wrong?
I think it was prologue and then 13 chapters and then epilogue.
Okay, so yeah, that sounds about right. Because I know technically you would be like, oh, it's this.
Because the
number.
last chapter is the only one where it's like 2 characters in one chapter.
Yeah, which was hype as shit. I'm very interested to get to the Kiryu going back because I'm assuming that's where you're gonna get Sung-hee and
Daigo.
Zhao and everybody else.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be Kiryu's party.
it's strange because Namba volunteers to be like, I'll go with Kiryu back to Japan.
Really?
Just to make sure that he's like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Nambo gets to go with Kiryu. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, which I was expecting that to happen because it wouldn't let me do Drinklinks with Namba.
Despite being Ichiban and that's his boy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really interesting. That I wonder if that's gonna be how they deal with this Sayako Ichiban thing. Is Kiryu's gonna get to play like wingman, or he's gonna be therapist for them.
Yeah, I mean, Chitose's got it bad for Ichiban.
Yeah.
Like, everybody can tell before they leave. Namba's like, damn, bro. Saiko's just ancient history now, isn't she? And Ichiban's like, what are you talking about? He's like, that Chitose, she's pretty fit. He's like, no, she's like 20 years younger than me. And he's like, God damn, that's crazy.
No.
He's like, say it with me. Chi-chan.
No. I love the idea that Namba is over here, be like, man, I am a man dying of thirst while I see a man complaining about how much water he has.
Yeah, facts.
Like I love Ichiban's like cluelessness sometimes, but there's moments like I've even got now where I see Chitose kind of flirting, and I'm like, fuck, I hate the Japanese like protagonist bit in all these anime games, whatever, where it's like,
Yeah, the
they're
Xenoblade
just,
2 effect.
yeah, where they just don't get, well, hey, we got the aftermath of that one.
Yeah,
so-
but in the game.
yeah, I was gonna say afterward, Momoe pulled all of them. In the moment, nobody.
Yeah.
I love that idea. He's like, I love all of you, and he like looks at the camera. Like Rex really just looked at the camera, and I meant that. I meant that for real.
What we're talking about is the protagonist of Xenoblade 2. He has like one love interest in the game, and then everybody else is like, but what about these other 2 girls that are clearly into him? And then 3 comes out, and it turns out that he just married and impregnated all 3 of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
full on. Just was like, fuck it, I can't choose.
Yeah, he's like, why should I?
Yeah, like did they mention any of that like in Future Redeemed with Rex? Like he mentioned like having the multiple wives, or was it just
They wink at it a lot because they're like, oh, we have an order from the queen, and then Rex is like, we have to fucking do it immediately. That's priority number 1.
Well, isn't she the only one who's still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder.
Rex's wives are dead?
Yeah, the
Well, they're-
Pyra and Mithra are both dead in Future Redeemed.
they're blades, right? So did they have? How does that work?
It's hard to say because at the end of 2, it's like they reform as something else, kind of. It's strange.
Yeah, so because the thing that makes it kind of more tragic is Rex uses 2 swords, which are Pyra and Mithra, and you're sitting there going, "Oh fuck, that's kind
Which they're
of."
supposed to be able to like generate from their body and give to him, but now it's like they're not around and he has these holsters.
No.
So
It's actually kind of sad when you think about it. They're like, damn. It's like, oh yeah, what weapons are you using? My wives.
yeah.
Most people would be like, oh, so he names his swords, and others are like, oh.
I bet
no,
he
yeah,
he like jerks off on the swords.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
cool. It's like that moment in Evangelion.
Thank you for watching
Yeah.
the SideQuest podcast.
Big shout out to W.GG.
Yep.
No, I'm gonna play some more. I didn't get to play tonight because I stayed up too late reading, or this morning, and then I slept in till 1, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get ready to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna hopefully play more tonight. I think I have Thursday off this week, which is great, so I can actually have a day of not doing shit. So I'll probably play some more there.
Some Yakuza.
Yeah, get some more reading done because I can see myself finishing the trilogy this week if I read enough. And yeah, I want to get to where you are, where it's like, all right, the Ichiban bit's kind of over for now. Let's move to Kiryu.
Well, I'm still Ichiban. Kiryu
really?
just left, and then I just saved as Ichiban before I stopped. So I don't know what's about to happen. But I know I'm really sad.
See, if it was on fucking Game Pass, I would just be like, hey Matt, I need to use your razor, and I would just start playing more on my phone. But
yeah.
it's not Gaiden. Well, to be fair, the Judgment games aren't on Game Pass either.
You mean no? It is on Game Pass.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not.
No, Like a Dragon is not. Gaiden was. So Infinite Wealth is not.
Interesting.
They put Gaiden on Game Pass to be like, hey, play this before you play the new one, despite that, you need to play all fucking 7 games.
Why don't they
beforehand.
just roll the rest of the Xbox library into Game Pass where you can buy games and then stream them?
Well, a lot of them is just anything that's from Xbox is on Game Pass. If they own it, it is. But a lot of the rest of it is licensing agreements. Because if you're on Game Pass, then you're clearly not going to buy the game. And so a lot of times when they make Game Pass deals, Microsoft will like pay them an amount that like this could be about how much you're going to make on our console, but now you can a little more. They have to kind of worry about that. That's why a game like Red Dead only was on there for like a month, whereas like some games stay for forever.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yep.
I mean, but that one's games with gold.
I mean, to be fair,
technically.
that one doesn't count then. If it's not on Game Pass,
It was games for gold,
Yeah.
which is just having Xbox Live.
But it is on Game Pass now.
Yeah, now
Like,
it is.
It's never left since it's
Yeah.
been on.
You know what did leave Game Pass? Metal Gear Survive,
Yeah,
because
good.
no one fucking played it. Probably
Don't put that next to Metal Gear Solid 5, you bastards.
Survive was shit.
That's the one where you had to buy save files for $20.
Yes.
Like one save file.
So I think it gave you. Didn't it give you 2?
I think it gives you one.
Only gave you 1. Yeah. So if you wanted to play again, you had to buy another save file,
Whoa.
which is complete garbage.
Yep, dog shit game.
Yeah, it wasn't even like all the good bits of Metal Gear 5 weren't even brought over. They just used the same engine, and then that one bit where they're like, okay, how do we make a game about surviving in a new world? I don't know. There's that one bit where the fucking ship explodes. Now make it a wormhole.
Yeah. What I really want to play that new Silent Hill, the free one.
I did.
How was it?
2 hours long, which free game, who cares? But it is.
I mean, I spent like 8 hours in the
Yeah.
Resident Evil house demo when that came out.
It's fine. Like I think for a free product, I'm like it's great, but like when I'm actually comparing it to other Silent Hill shit, it's fine. But it makes me excited for the future of Silent Hill because I'm like, okay.
I mean, that's clearly what they were trying
Yeah.
to do, was just
It was
titillate your. Or,
It was interesting. Like
How do you
it
say
definitely
that?
felt like PT, in the sense of, all right, it's a small thing, put out free. This is clearly going to lead into a new Silent Hill game. So after 2 remake, whatever the new Silent Hill original thing is, I feel like this will lead into it. But it does deal with suicide and like a lot of the
Cool way.
based.
Well, yeah. Well, because like Silent Hill, the whole point is it's supposed to give you what you want, but like the most fucked up versions of it. And that's like the main character's thing is like she's like, oh, I want this girl to fucking leave me alone. She's always trying to like do this, whatever. And then she goes into the Silent Hill bit of like, and I don't want to spoil it because it's actually kind of interesting, the like layouts of the thing, but it's. I don't know, the way they handle it by the end, it's a little corny, but most Silent Hill is.
Yeah.
In a way, but like
I mean, most of the alternate endings are like, oh, a dog did it.
this one definitely is like they're just kind of testing the engine and testing like, we haven't made Silent Hill in a while. Let's do something interesting, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, but it was like I said, 2 hours. I literally played it the day I left here, after the Wednesday or whatever day it was. Yeah, I just played it that night and was like, that was good, and then just moved on.
Hell yeah.
It looks great. The environments are really cool, but I think just in general, I'm more excited for Silent Hill 2. And
yeah,
whatever the next
that new
is.
one looks very interesting because it's very clearly Japanese aesthetic. So I'm all about that, obviously.
Obviously,
Because I'm a massive weeb.
Are you? What do you think of that? That was another thing we did. We watched that State of Play. What'd you think of the Stellar Blade, which is basically just
It looks really good. They explicitly said that Nier Automata is like the
major inspiration.
yeah, which go for it. Like I want to see more of that shit.
Yeah, I would say that's probably that was probably the game, and then fucking Sonic. Yeah, that's the thing we got to talk.
Yeah, Sonic X Shadow.
Uh-huh.
That should be the title of this episode.
Sonic X Shadow.
Sonic X Shadow Fan Art Edition.
Death of Xbox.
Sonic X Shadow: The Fall of
Sonic
X.
X Shadow
Fall of
killing
X.
Xbox.
That's gonna be interesting, considering it's just a Generations remaster. But then apparently Ian Flynn's writing all the Shadow shit.
Hell yeah.
So I'm cool with this, bro. Like if they we're seeing the fucking Doom, like the black, what are they called, the Black Arms?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing them come back. Shadow's getting actual story bit, and hopefully it's written well.
Yeah, I'm excited for it either way. Like more Generations is not a bad thing.
It looks also like the Shadow levels look very different because like there's more combat, it seems, in those.
And they're doing like some like Doctor Strange mirror dimension shit.
I'm actually kind of cool with it. Like it'll give me an excuse to play Generations again.
Yeah.
Which I'm down for an excuse for that.
I actually just replayed that
Really?
like half a year ago. I went through a big Sonic kick.
It always happens where I'm like, I want to play Sonic games, and I'll just play like 3 games.
Did you
'cause
do
they're
that
so
right
short.
before the new Sonic game came out?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I did Adventure and then Adventure 2 and then Generations
Yeah.
and then I played I think it was fucking
Unleashed
no
Forces?
the Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing,
Oh yeah,
which I love that game.
that would be a good one we could play for the channels. Just Sonic, Generations, and Shadow.
Yeah,
They should have said and Shadow, like the and Knuckles bit. I think it would have been cool.
but no, they wanted to stamp out the Sonic X Shadow Google.
Man, imagine being a
Results.
mom, be like, oh, my son wants this Sonic X Shadow game, and she just types that into Google.
Rule 34.
It's the Ratatouille thing where he's like looking at the pages and he's freaking out.
It's like she runs into the room, like, what are you into? He's like, Mom.
Oh, let me get my gripper off the screen. You got socks on though.
Yeah, but solidarity, BJ. Put your foot up.
No, you got to pay for that.
Go to the. What are we doing? A coffee, a Patreon? What's our vibe at some point?
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Yeah, gotta pay for the OnlyFans to get that.
Yep.
Get the BJ grippers. Make sure we gotta put a blur on BJ's foot that on the little frame.
There you go.
All right. Anything else you want to mention? Or
I'd like to shout out our sponsor, Dubby.
But
Dubby. They make a very good energy powder for energy drinks using natural ingredients like coffee extract and no added colors. And I use it all the time. Keeps me awake in the morning so I can get to work and not fall asleep while I drive. And if you use the code Take It Sleazy at checkout, you'll get 10% off and help support us. Make sure to like, subscribe on either any podcasting platform or on YouTube. We love our new YouTube fans. And
also TikTok. We've been putting out some TikToks, and they've been doing some pretty good.
Yep. You know,
The Achu one fucking had me dying.
it's a killer one. And as always,
take it sleazy.